Well, first of all, good afternoon, and just thank you for the work you do, everyone, with the International Raoul Wallenberg Foundation. I especially want to thank President Eurnekian for your leadership here. I really appreciate and know that your involvement here makes a difference in spreading awareness about the legacy of Raoul Wallenberg. At a time when it was very easy to stay quiet or really to pay lip service to those who are being persecuted around them, this was a man of action who stood up against good over evil. And he gave his life. You think about it, he gave his life to save over 100,000 people, 100,000 Jewish people from the terrors of Hitler and the Nazi regime at that time. And his calling to serve that greater good is a lesson to all of us.
And today I am once again privileged, this time to extend most heartfelt thanks to the International Raoul Wallenberg Foundation and to Chairman Eduardo Eurnekian. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your leadership, your extraordinary courage and leadership in assuring that Mr. Wallenberg, whose earthly fate, as we all know, remains unknown, will live on not only in the descendants of those he spared, but also in the courageous deeds of those his example continues to inspire. In a world desperate for heroes who know, as he did, that en man kan göra skillnad.
Very good.
One man can make a difference. Thank you.
I also had a chance to meet Eduardo Eurnekian. Thank you for your generosity to make this possible. Thanks to your leadership and the leadership of people in this room, the world now knows about an extraordinary individual. Had great personal risk to himself, saved thousands.
Wallenberg serves as a reminder for our moral responsibility, our obligation to respond to the forces that challenge democracy and human rights, our obligation to prevent genocide, because sadly, history has repeated itself.
This is a painting that was painted by the same person who was a spy who caught Adolf Eichmann. He was a spy and he was a painter. And he gave it as a present to Baruch Tenenbaum in Argentina after he caught Eichmann. And he painted this picture, as if you can see, this is the map of Hungary, and this is the face of Raoul Wallenberg. And would you please come up? And this is a present from Eduardo and from Baruch to you.
Thank you, Peter, for not only the beautiful introduction, but thank you for the gift. Thank you for each of you for being so generous and thoughtful in your recognition. I'd like to spend my few moments here today just thanking people and expressing my gratitude for the people in this room for being the advocates and the voices that demanded action in Washington. I also want to thank all the gentlemen who just took a picture with me. Eduardo, chairman of Raoul Wallenberg Foundation, has been an inspiration to all of us in his own moral courage to continue this effort. Baruch, founder of the International Raoul Wallenberg Foundation, you are our voice internationally around the world to make sure no one ever forgets.
I'm really honored to have a chance to be with you and thank all of those of you who have dedicated yourselves to keeping the memory of Raoul Wallenberg alive, not just to honor his bravery, but as a continuing example to those who are here now going forward. And so to all of you, thank you, Baruch Tenenbaum. Thank you for your leadership. To Eduardo Eurnekian, thank you for all that you do. To the late Guy von Vardel, we honor him as well. And I know Nina Lagergren is here on behalf of the family to accept the award later today.
And I want to close by singling out now the International Raoul Wallenberg Foundation, because they have kept not only the legacy of Raoul Wallenberg alive, but they have given manifest expression to it in all their Maasim Tovim, in their good deeds. And to recognize the extraordinary leadership of you, Eduardo, all over the years, in Argentina, in the United States, in Canada, internationally, your extraordinary leadership in not only keeping the legacy alive, but together with Baruch, giving expression to it. And so may this extraordinary day be not only an act of remembrance, which it is, but may it be for all of us a remembrance to act always with the inspiration of Raoul Wallenberg. Thank you.
First of all, I would like to thank Baruch, Eduardo, for all you have done faithfully for all these years. Thank you so much. So now it is time that everybody stops thinking about what Raoul can do for him, but ask himself what he can do for Raoul.
This is a big day, a very big day. And it's not just a big day for folks who happen to be of the Jewish faith. It's a big day for all of us. It's a big day for humanity. And that's why I think it is tremendously important for all of us to be here. And I bring huge congratulations to Mr. Baruch Tannenbaum, the founder of the International Raoul Wallenberg Foundation, and Mr. Eduardo Eurnekian, the president and chairman of the International Raoul Wallenberg Foundation, and of course, Raoul Wallenberg's half-brother, Mr. Guy von Vardel, who devoted much of his life to trying to find answers to what happened to his brother. The gold medal ceremony taking place this afternoon would not be possible at all without your focus, your dedication. I thank you for bringing this to all of our attention.
The people we honor today, whose lives have been given not only to this foundation, but also to this cause, Baruch Tannenbaum, Eduardo Eurnekian, and Guy von Vardel, are so important to all of us, regardless of religion, regardless of nationality, and regardless of our life experience, because what you teach us every day through what you do is the importance of caring and courage and the strength that you bring to this continuing endeavor. I want to thank all of you for the honor of being with you today and for your dedication to this cause. Thank you very much.
I commend the International Raoul Wallenberg Foundation for nearly 50 years of service in keeping the legacy of Mr. Wallenberg alive. And in particular, I thank Eduardo Eurnekian for his tireless commitment to Raoul and the Wallenberg family. And it is an honor for me to be here with each of you to say thank you for standing up, commending his service. It is an honor to join my colleague Dick Blumenthal, to join the members of Congress, to join each of you, and it's a particular honor that I have been asked to present an award to Eduardo Eurnekian for his service to the foundation. And his service
I want to thank the International Raoul Wallenberg Foundation for all your efforts throughout the years to honor this son of Sweden and of America. Wallenberg was a diplomat who chose not to be indifferent and to rise to a higher moral calling.
The United States Mint worked closely with the Wallenberg Centennial Celebration Commission to design the medal, and the best part of the medal, in my opinion, are the inscriptions. They speak to his work and his passion. The obverse carries a portrait of Raoul Wallenberg with the inscriptions, Raoul Wallenberg, Act of Congress 2012, and Hero of Heroes. The reverse depicts Wallenberg's view as he extends a Schutzpass and a background view of those he could not reach being boarded on a train bound for a concentration camp. Inscriptions are, he lives on forever through those he saved, and one person can make a difference. I also want to recognize Baruch Tannenbaum, founder of the International Raoul Wallenberg Foundation, and Eduardo Eurnekian, President and Chairman of the International Raoul Wallenberg Foundation, for their continuous dedication to protect and honor the memory of Raoul Wallenberg. I also applaud the hard work that the International Raoul Wallenberg Foundation has done to always remember those individuals who risked their lives for others.
Before you leave, Yes. Sorry about the... Thank you. As you may know, my origins are traced to Armenia, where my parents were born. It is from there that they emigrated to Argentina in the early 20th century. As an heir of the Armenian culture, its tradition and legacy, I feel an absolutely identification with both the history and the future of the Jewish people. Apart from a great suffering, both the Armenian genocide and the Holocaust served to create a common culture and a collective conscience focused on the need to educate so that these events are never again repeated. As a chairman of the Wallenberg Foundation, I have been blessed with the channel to communicate our message of solidarity through education and public awareness programs. We must never forget the past, but at the same time, we must look to the future responsibly with an eye on our future generation. Peace is the result of proactive justice and solidarity. It does not simply materialize, it is built and defended. Raoul Wallenberg was a man of privilege and social stature who refused to allow himself to be contained by his circumstances. Instead, he was determined to go beyond what was expected of him. He was determined to make a difference. Let me finish with the remark shared by President Ronald Reagan at the 40th anniversary of Wallenberg's disappearance. In the depth of the horror of the World War II, Raoul Wallenberg was a shining light of inspiration, upholding the honor of the human race. In the name of the International Raoul Wallenberg Foundation, please allow me to state that we are truly pleased to see this great man presented with the Congressional Gold Medal. I extend a warm thank you to the men and the women of both the United States Senate and the House of Representatives. I look forward to see every one of you this afternoon in the ceremony. Thank you very much.